I think you must be thinking how you're going to go about it. Because there is a kit which we are making, which is, one is for the doctors, whatever information which you have got here in person, others will get in the form of a kit. There will be a pen drive with a loaded music, which you can give it to your patients. All this will be integrated in our app, where the patient can register with you and then download all the music or the recipes or the food, whatever, meditation, how to do it, all that will be there. And along with that, we have made a small film which we'll show you tomorrow, the curtain raiser, which you can play in your clinics. Because everyone cannot propagate and tell one patient, okay, this is the program. So the whole program, what it is about, is a small video clip of about 15 minutes, which can be played in the clinics. And then the patient can themselves come and say that, it's all voluntary. You can't force it on anyone. Neither I can force you, nor you can force your patients. But if you'll play, when they understand, all the benefits of it, they'll come and enroll themselves. So that film also will be given to everyone to be played in their clinics, and then the whole program will be rolled out. And we will do two more TOTs. I'm just waiting for the dates to finalize, and we'll announce those also. Because in the morning, I didn't want to speak about it, because unless and until you know the concept, then it wouldn't have made any, meaning. So that's why I'm talking about it right now, because once you understand, then only, and there will be a lot of questions also in your mind. So don't keep them in your mind. You can, I think we will have some time after these two talks. You please come out with those little suggestions. They will be very, very welcome.
Hello. Now I love to invite our unique. अभी मैंने सारे point देखे सर आपके लिए. Peaceful soul, special, empowered himself, and on special mission. And I am finding you close to spirituality nowadays. Blissful, knowledgeable, and a powerful person. And all of you in the audience will agree with me that each and every person को सर ने phone किया है. किसकी गाड़ी कहाँ जा रही है, कौन सा किसका क्या है, the media management of anything, everything he did. सबको मालूम है कब कौन सा कम गाड़ी से उतरेगा, कब किसको ORC में आने का क्या रास्ता है. Really, really grateful, a person like you. And all of us, we need a great round of applause again for the one person, that is Dr. Narendra Malhotra.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. As Yadeep said, everything is on the app and it is available. All these presentations and slides will be put on as a PDF on the two Adbhut Matrutva groups we have, a WhatsApp group. I believe a lot of you are not yet on the groups. So you have to give us your number. So you just SMS to me. And then you, or to, of course, Dr. Manindra Ahuja, or to the counter, and they are the admins, and you just drop in. Mera number hoga sabke paas, nahi hai to de. And you will be put on that, because all these lovely pictures, videos, subah se everybody is putting on those two groups. And some of you are missing. I saw that. So we would like to have you there. So quickly we're going to recapitulate all the science which we learned today on what to do in antenatal screening. And as you heard how the fetus behaves, we have just got this new machine, which is a lovely toy, which I believe, which gives you pictures as good as this, where the light is focused on the baby through the ultrasound. And you can see this baby's opening eyes, winking at you and showing expression. So this is what actually is that the babies do respond inside. So this antenatal screening guidelines have been formed by FOGSI, and I think some of you must have got it in a hard copy as TOG1, or it is on the FOGSI website. This is the expert group who was responsible for bringing out the antenatal, and we have already got some 20 guidelines, and another 20 will come under Dr. Jaideep in the next 2 months. So this is the reference material, because it has to be scientific, and what you're doing might not be right, or what you're doing is right, but you're not doing it in a flow chart or in a correct way. So we have gone through all these guidelines and formed our own Indian guidelines. Why screen? Because you could run into problem babies like that. Now those babies could be abnormal babies, so you run. So why screen? Because you need to screen low and high risk mothers to prevent maternal complications, fetal chromosomal anomalies, structural defects of the fetus, growth anomalies, and then you have to decide safe mode of delivery for this. Chromosomal anomalies and structural anomalies are both different. So we're going to screen for both of them. You saw this nucleoides approach, 1929. The pyramid of care was that all anomalies were detected at 40 weeks or after delivery, the base of the triangle. Today, from 2013, it is the first trimester triage. So all anomaly detection has come to 12 weeks. And then the fetal medicine specialist came in from 2013. So we added one penthouse which is called as the fetal medicine. So we had the gynecologists who were interested in antenatal care to become fetal medicine specialists. You and me are fetal medicine specialists. Nobody can deny us that. Then of course came the huge bombardment of non-communicable diseases and post-pregnancy problems. So another non-communicable diseases penthouse was added above, and the pregnancy induced complications were added below, and that was known as the maternal medicine specialist, you and me. Then you had the pyramid of care, who will look after the fetus from 12 weeks to 40, is the fetal medicine specialist. And then you had another maternal medicine specialist who will again look after the non-communicable diseases. So this is how the care or the pregnancy care has evolved in the last few years. When we were students, or when we were in practice, not students, early it was fetal defects were picked up at 22 to 24 weeks by the anomaly scan, and the rest of them were never picked up. Then in 2005 it came that fetal defects now equal amount picked up at 11 to 14 weeks and equal amount at 20 to 23 weeks. Then today, after 2010, major defects are picked up at 11 to 13 weeks 6 days, and only a small portion of fetal defects, especially the cardiac ones, go to the second trimester anomaly scan. So your anomaly scan is shifted from 22 weeks to 13 weeks 6 days. And this is what we got to learn, because the radiologists are in the Supreme Court saying that gynecologists cannot do ultrasound, and we are going to say that we will do our own fetal medicine and maternal medicine ultrasound. Nobody can stop us that. This is our baby, this is our patient. So that is what, and we have just won that case against the radiologist. That war is not yet over, it is going to go on for a long time. So an antenatal checklist was taken out in 2009 by Dr. Durusha, who was the president after me. I was in 2008. And in 2017, this was modified by Dr. Rishma Pai as the president, the antenatal checklist. Maybe you've got this, it is well mounted to put in your clinics. But you're going to get the 2018 one, where in April, or not May it will be done. So you'll get it in about July from Dr. Jaideep. So how is the antenatal care? It is divided into first, second and third trimester. You heard all that. And what you need to do in the first trimester is you need to confirm pregnancy, you need to do a viability test, if it is viable or not, then you need to do a complete. So this is the flow chart for the first trimester. And the complete flow chart would be a pregnancy, first, second, third. First, my recommended test, which FOGSI recommends. So if you're going to miss those tests and not advise them, and the patient takes you to court, then say कि आपकी association ने बोला हुआ है, आपने क्यों नहीं कराया. So आपको ये सब टेस्ट कराना ही पड़ेगा, और या एटलीस्ट पेपर पे एडवाइस करना पड़ेगा. Recommended and preferable, because everyone cannot afford, so some tests we have kept it as preferable tests. Although in Western countries all of them are recommended tests, and this chart we'll just send it to you, so you don't have to worry. Body mass index, general examination, blood pressure, screening for anemia. I want you all to be screened for anemia also here. Blood group and rhesus, endocrine screening, especially for thyroid, diabetes, galacturia, vitamin D and relaxin. Infection screen, what we need. सबको टॉर्च नहीं लिखना है, टॉर्च इन्फेक्शन का कोई रोल नहीं है टॉर्च टेस्ट का, और टॉर्च IgG पॉजिटिव आता है तो पेशेंट के लिए अच्छा है. That means patient is immunized. So please don't treat IgG patients, which a lot of us are doing it. So that's what we are seeing. But this has to be done. And then the main thing of screening is that to pick up chromosomal anomalies, whether the baby is healthy chromosomally or not. So you have biochemical markers and you have ultrasound. So first trimester screening will always be between 10 weeks to 13.6 weeks, and the second trimester will be 15 to 22 weeks. No chromosomal screening is allowed in India after 20 weeks, because the report takes 1 week and then abortion is not allowed. So amniocentesis and NIPT and biochemical triple marker, quadruple marker If you are writing after 20 weeks, no lab is going to do it, because it's illegal to get abort a baby after 22 weeks in India, and the reports don't come, so the screening is useless. So screening has to be early. We have to remember that. So please start screening at 13 weeks. And 13 weeks you will do the dual marker and ultrasound for NT, nasal bones, NT and NT, nuchal translucency and PAPS and dual marker. That's all. And if you do that, then you will get. So watch this picture. This is a 10, 11 week baby. Because when you're doing a test, you must know why you're doing it. So where do these markers come? When you say markers, the markers of inhibin A and HCG, which is in the double marker, come from the placenta or the chorionic villi. The nuchal translucency is a collection of lymphatics behind the nape of the neck. In chromosome 13, 18, 21 defects, the duct from the brain to the thorax, which drains the lymph, does not develop. So lymph collects here and you get a translucent area behind the nape of the neck. And this works only till 13 weeks. After that, till 22 weeks, you cannot measure the translucency. Then it is the fat. Down's baby develop fat in the neck, then it is known as nuchal fold thickness and not nuchal translucency. The alpha fetoproteins come from the fetal liver, and the unconjugated estriol comes from the adrenals. So the abnormal levels of HCG, inhibin, alpha fetoprotein unconjugated and a thickened nuchal translucency tells you that this baby is chromosomally defective. So how do we do it? Jaideep showed this but did not talk to you about it. We have 3 strategies to do this. One, you can apply any, and I'll tell you which one to apply, and that would be what our main crux is. So fully integrated, that you're going to integrate all the tests and then make a risk assessment of the fetus. So what test we'll do? We'll do a first trimester NT and PAPA, that is a dual marker, and we do not give a risk to the patient. We just take the test and keep it. Then in the second trimester, we call the patient again at 18 weeks. We do a triple or a quadruple test. Again, there is no role of triple test now. So please, if you are advising triple test, change to quadruple test. So quadruple test and an ultrasound, and then add all the markers and calculate a risk and tell the patient whether she is at risk or not at risk. So that is your fully integrated screen. Then you have the stepwise sequential screen. You do the first trimester dual marker and NT and make the patient, tell the patient you are high risk or low risk. If she is high risk, you have to do an NIPT or a chorion villus sampling immediately, or because it's first trimester. If she is low risk, go and do the second trimester screening all over again, quadruple test and level 2 ultrasound. And then if she is normal, let her continue the pregnancy. So this is your sequential screening. Then we have a contingent screening. Now both those screenings require a lot of tests. For India, both of them will be costly. So we come out with a contingent screening. Contingent screening means that, that you do a dual marker and NT in the first trimester and make 3 risk assessment. Low risk, do nothing. High risk, do CVS and NIPT. Low risk, nothing, no second trimester. Intermediate risk, which I'll tell you where, they go only, those patients will go to the second trimester or sequential. And then finally you say the patient is normal. What else you can do? You can do a PIH screen by uterine artery Doppler and the biochemical markers like PIGF and mean arterial pressure. You do 3 of them and make a risk of whether the patient is going to have PIH or not. So that we can do. And we can do a cervical length screening for predicting preterm labor. NIPT after 9 weeks, and it is 99%, it is still not a diagnostic test. The diagnostic test is karyotype by CVS or amniocentesis. This is still labeled as a screening test, but it is almost as good as a diagnostic test. CVS at 11 to 14 weeks, amniocentesis at 15 to 18. After 18, it is not allowed, so please don't advise a patient amniocentesis after 18. So your first trimester screening would be, the best time would be 13 weeks by NT and by dual marker. And you will give a risk to the patient. Very high risk, very low risk, and borderline risk. And then you will follow up. So the screening strategy advised for India, which is on the British model, is that we are very good in ultrasound. So we would do, instead of nasal bone, we will do tricuspid, regurgitation and everything, and nasal, NT, everything. And then we make high risk, we do a CVS, very low risk, nothing else, borderline risk, then only we subject them to a double marker. We don't even do a double marker here. Our screening strategy should be only ultrasound. And then we do only the double marker with the borderline. And then if they're still high risk, then we do a CVS. If they're low risk, leave them alone. Or do a NIPT instead of double marker. So that's how we're trying to modify the screen. So first trimester, dual marker, NT-NB and mean arterial pressure, and second trimester, quadruple marker and a generic ultrasound. So that would be your, so first trimester plus second,